yesterday I was doing a garden vlog video and I did a really long one, 26 minutes, 4K, and I tried to compile it over and over again. I tried to airdrop it to my laptop. For whatever reason, it just kept erroring out and not working. So I'm going to just go ahead and try this one at 720p, a little bit less data usage, storage. So let's hope that there is no kind of storage corruption on my camera phone. So it's been a while since I showed any progress on this jackfruit that has survived like 3 winters of frosts and freezes, and it did go down to the ground a couple times, but it's looking pretty good again now. And a lot of people, I think, are waiting, due to global warming, whatever you want to call climate change. This area seems to be warming up, and they kind of are hoping that 5, 10, 15 years they'll be able to grow mangoes. Now I don't know if that's going to be possible, but these guys are hardy down to about 25 degrees or so. Maybe a grafted one right now isn't the best bet, but maybe in 5 years from now you could do a seedling or a few of them, and you may actually be able to produce some jackfruit, without putting them in a greenhouse. I think I talked about in that video is that we did manage to get another rooted seminole, pumpkin, trombone, zucchini, squash, whatever cross rooted here. This guy here was already having the little roots from the little aerials that they put into the ground or on top of the ground. When they do that, they're pretty easy to root. They don't need a whole lot of roots. Just cut them and put them in the ground. When you just cut them and put them into a pot, or even lay them into the pot for a significant amount of time, sometimes even before you cut them, those guys die. And when you do cut them, 2 or 3 days, they start turning brown and they're dead. So they root whenever they want to root, and it seems like it would be easy. But when you want them to root and you want to cut a cutting, maybe it's a little bit more difficult to keep those alive long enough for them. The trick may be that you need really long vines, 6 foot plus, wrap it around like I kind of did here in this magic soil area where the goat pee, hay, goat poop just composted in the soil 7 or 10 years or whatever. And there we go, we got some new growth here. This is from a leftover vine when I got that rooted piece and put in the pot. It was just, I was like, uh-oh, I made a mistake. There's like 5 or 6 foot of extra vine here with no sign of rooting. So like I said, I twirled it up, twirled it around and around and around, put it in the dirt, and it looks like it's growing. This is our single Deanna fig here, and I don't know if it's going to make any more. But, we put this in the ground, about a year ago or something. This was from Fruitwood Nursery, and it had a pretty major growth spurt. It's kind of growing crooked now. Wind and thunderstorms have kind of made it fall a little bit, so we're probably going to have to stake it up later and, get it straighter, pull it up, and we don't want it to just fall and, lose all its roots and just die here. Look at that. There's our trombone, squash, seminole, pumpkin climbing up our antenna tower, going way up there with some big giant leaves. That's probably 10 or 12 foot in the air right there. They may go up even higher than that this year. These are ones that self-rooted or after we got cold freezes that killed part of the vine, and they come out in spurts wherever they did not get a whole lot of cold damage. We've already collected a few of these Sideo persimmons that have ripened a little bit early. I really don't see any right now that are ready, but the limbs, and I don't think this is just from the weight of the fruit. I know it's not. Check this out. Some kind of animals are getting up here. Look at that. Breaking them. That might be something heavy. That's probably not a squirrel. Well, I did find one that looks like something started eating on. Look how good that stuff looks. So juicy and sweet too. This is a tomato that I planted last year, and it somehow survived, I guess, with protection of these weeds and stuff here. And it's in flower. I'm sure the tag's down there. I'm not sure what variety it is, but I'd have to dig around there to see. I can see some persimmon there. Some kind of animal pulled it in there and was eating it over this area. So I think I found the culprit, or the idea of this papaya here, why it hasn't been fruiting. I believe that is male flowers based on the A/B comparison I've just briefly looked at on Google. So if this is male only, that means it's not going to have fruit. Some of them are female, some of them are both. Papaya right beside of it hasn't flowered yet, so I have no idea if it's male, female, or what. I think that we have a pup here from our pineapple growing. Let's see, probably no good way to see it there. But there's one growing on the side of that guy that I have no idea how I'd harvest it without getting torn up with these thorny things, but probably do need to separate it eventually. So one of the things I keep seeing popping up. Is that chair dirty? You gonna knock it down? Yes, it is very hard to film when you have kids that are fussy and want you to pick them up and carry them thousands and thousands of feet back and forth and give them attention and food and drink and wipe butts. I was saying, a lot of things that pop up, especially regarding like native fruits and nuts and stuff like that, berries, like the beautyberries and elderberries, is should you pick them and take away wildlife food, bears, birds, whatever, squirrels. All birds certainly enjoy these guys. There are other things likely producing berries, like some figs. There are, hollies, a few of the hollies I think that have berries in the same time of year. Pears, cherry laurels, black cherries, probably a greenbriar, Virginia creeper, a lot of little things with berries and all that birds and stuff eat. So they're not focusing just on this. As you can see, for the most part, they leave these berries alone. And I'm here, in a forest here. It's not like high traffic where humans or something are scaring the wildlife off. But these guys are easy to root, just like elderberries. Get you, a few sticks, cuttings, 12 inches or whatever. Put them in the ground, put them in a pot, and next season you're going to have a bunch of rooted beautyberries or a bunch of rooted elderberries. Heck, root a dozen or 50. You can no longer say, I'm taking wildlife food away from these guys when you have a dozen plus rooted in pots or in the ground beautyberries and elderberries that were not ever going to exist in the wild, in your yard, or anywhere. So stop using that excuse. They're easy to root, and if you don't have any to root, go to a native nursery. They should have all of these guys. They're plentiful in my yard. Now, a few of these I did plant. I got some in raised beds. I took some from these main plants and I stuck them in the ground and rooted them, and now we have more, and I'll probably plant more in the future as well. These guys here, and they're probably 10 or 12 foot in the air, full of berries, and that's where I rooted them. One area in the raised bed there with my mulberries and the 2015 best elderberries. I got a fig there, a few other things, autumn olive, all kind of living in harmony. Kind of run out of time to do as much content as I did yesterday to redo it, but that is one of our pears, our large pear trees that never gets pollinated. So we're hoping, and you can see it's in flower or starting to flower. That's the first 3 or 4 opening them up. There's a bunch of buds that haven't opened up yet. We've had like the harvest queen here that is probably as old, if not older than that one, but it just never gets its chill hours. For some reason, it never blooms or hasn't bloomed yet. We've tried a few other pears that just did not do well in the ground. Too shady, too wet maybe. And try to bring out more diversity in this area. Try to find maybe a little sunnier spot. Do the age wood chip, alternative beds that we've been working on for a season and a half or so. Kind of season 2 got cut short, but maybe we'll finish season 2 off before we start season 3. I don't know. So yeah, some pears like the Baldwin are reported to be semi-self-pollinating, which means they can produce some type of crop without pollination from other pears. And this guy absolutely cannot. It's bloomed for years and years and has never produced a single pear. I think my Baldwin that got killed by boring insects, beetles or whatever, they were getting a lot of pollination from neighbors, hard pears 200-300 foot away down the street. And those hard pears ended up dying, possibly from borers, I don't know. So it was getting less and less pollination each year anyway. So we wasn't really getting a productive crop from those Baldwins, even though they were one of the best pears that I've had in Florida for fresh eating. Some of these pineapple guavas have a good plump roundness to them. They're looking good. Finally getting a little bit of the rain has sort of started to heal them, I guess. Some of them are quite wrinkly and looking like they were going to dry out, possibly fall off, but it looks like now they're kind of coming around. And we got 2 different genetic varieties there that are in fruit, and hopefully next year or the next 5 years we'll have like 10 or 12 or more genetics, and we'll see if we will like the household if likes the pineapple guavas. I kind of liked the last one we had last year. It was a little bit small. Nobody else liked it. Those are seedling cultivars that are supposedly from name cultivars. The other seedlings I planted, 8 or 10 or whatever, or who knows where they come from, just random seedlings. And then this season we planted 3 grafted New Zealand varieties. So if we get a chance to try all these and don't like them, then we might as well just forget it. But we have a chance to, because of the genetic diversity, to try hopefully things that get bigger. So hopefully a few that pollinate themselves and each other a little bit better. And I can already see that these New Zealand varieties are more drought and sun tolerant, which is a good thing. I'm going to assume the size issue is the biggest thing. We want something big, and versus something tiny. And a lot of times tiny things, people just don't like. Even like our dwarf evergreen mulberries, they're good tasting, but it takes forever to pick and harvest little tiny berries like that, and for a pie or jams or whatever. That's it for this video. I'm sure we don't have to focus on some of the things I was trying to talk about in the last video and future videos. Take care.